Yo, welcome to another episode of Game Changers Podcast. We got a good show for you today. We talking about the 18 to 29-year-old demographic in America. A study came out. This is a 2020 study. It's talking about young adults still living with their parents at the age 18 to 29 in America. And I just thought that was kind of interesting, to see what you guys thought about that. You know, is that because people are choosing to live with their parents nowadays and to save money and to consolidate, resources, or is that of course, when you see this graphic, they got the boy laying in the bed like he's just lazy. So, I mean,
Yeah, no.
what are your guys' takes on this?
Yeah,
I think it's a choice and not so much of a choice. But shit, it's expensive out here, man. Like to be trying to pay your own goddamn bills, especially like in today's time, man. You can't really survive off of one household income, and a lot of people, most of the ones that are still living at home with their parents are single. So rent and shit is high, and then you
Your
got to feed this
granddaddy
shit on
raised
top of that.
16 kids. Your granddaddy raised 16 kids on one income, and them days is over with.
Yeah, that was
That
doing
thirty thousand
granddaddy
dollar
days.
house, them $30,000 houses, that's over with. That whole like brick houses, $30,000 built on the ground, that's over with. So we're in a total different world now. So I know I know known being our resident, real live African on the panel here. You understand how in other cultures, this is not a thing. I mean, it's not a big deal for, especially in Oriental communities and in a lot of the African communities. It's expected for you to live with the parents and consolidate your resources. Because, like you say, it is hard trying to just be out here on your own and just paying bills from 18 years old, bro. And take it from me, I went to the army at 17 years old, so I had a little head start with not having to pay bills. But when I got out in the real world and had to pay bills, bro, and that shit ain't never stopped since that first day.
And
It
if
ain't
did,
never
my
stopped.
mama
So
let me back in the house. Shit.
just what I'm saying. So I understand the thinking behind something like consolidating your resources and staying at home. But you also got to have a good support system. You got to have an understanding with the people you stand with, because you can't just be standing around your mama's house and not paying no bills, bro, or not doing what you need to do. Of course, you're still a grown man at 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever.
And
So
I,
I think those are the things that have to be ironed out in those kind of arrangements, because you know a lot of these kids at that age, man, they don't, they are grown technically. So you want to be able to move how you want to move, uh, come and go as you please. But of course, when you're living with the family setting, that's kind of a different dynamic now,
and I think
right?
it's only a problem in American families that like Americans that make it a problem because every other culture, like you was just saying, shit, they all live together and save their money up, and then they go off and this person will get a car first, and then they go down the line like that. But Americans, we're too selfish. We worry too much about the next person getting more than us. But I don't see nothing wrong with motherfuckers between the age of 18 to I'll say 24. Not 29 is a little too old to be still living at home with your fucking mama. But I don't see anything wrong with that as long as you are working towards something. Like you going to school or you working to save up your money so that you can lead a state, or you know what I'm saying, do something like that. But to just be sleeping in your motherfucking mama house, waking up playing the game all day and not working or doing nothing around the house, bro, yeah, nah. You can get your ass out the house.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out, Gil. Gil said, I think parents these days don't want their kids struggling the way we did. It's crazy these days. I
That's
definitely agree.
fact.
that's Glim.
Definitely.
I don't want my
Well,
daughters to struggle, but them boys, you gotta get your ass out at 18. Get
Yeah,
your ass out.
yeah. My personal opinion is it's all about just building economically.
Because like we just saying, here in America, we basically taught individualism for corporations. That's my personal opinion. We taught individualism
Facts.
because when you go out into the world, it's like you going out, the world's against you. The world's not with you. So if you go out into the world at 18, 19, no resources, no connections to your family, economically or socially, it's just you. You got to go out there. You go and get their credit cards. You go out there and you go and get their loans. You go out there and you basically putting yourself and making yourself a debt slave to the American system. But if you taught economic empowerment through your family, through building wealth, if you know these things to put your money up, invest your money, and you use group economics, you bring your money, I make $1, you make $1, we put it in a pot and we build this wealth. That is what so many people that come into our country do. Yes, they might have some help and things that we may not know about as Americans, but mostly they practice group economics. So when you see a whole bunch of Mexicans or Arabs or whatever, and they're all in this one area, one group, they usually pulling their money together. And that's what we don't get taught to do, to pull our money together so we can go and get a house. If you're down on hard times, hey, we got the family house.
And that's what I was just about to say.
You know what I'm saying? We got the family house, but the one stipulation we got with the family house is you got to be working. If you're not working, then you can't stay at the family house, right? And there's rules set in place in order for you to use these resources. And that's what Americans aren't taught a lot outside of other people who come into our country, and they use the system and they're doing their thing, but they have more of a mentality that is for building their families up. So if we were to do that more in America, for the young people, I think we'd be in better situations. But we have to put work ethic with it as well. It just can't be, just sitting around. You gotta put that effort in. You gotta put that work in.
But that's what I was about to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Like, we wasn't taught financial stability because our parents wasn't taught it. So, but nowadays, a lot of the parents like us, we've taught ourselves how to survive. So it's easier now to teach it to our kids, and that's where the problem comes in, that financial literacy isn't being taught.
Yes, and also, you know what I'm saying, when you give these kids, like Gil in the comments saying, when we give, instead of giving these kids everything, teaching them what they need to know, but then they already so soft because they in this generation, they don't even want to hear. That's not sexy to them to want to hear about financial literacy. That's not something that they really seeking out. You know what I'm saying? To know about money and know how money is made and how money moves and how money multiplies.
I don't think they soft. Them motherfuckers just entitled. They feel like we owe it to them.
Entitled, and they didn't struggle like us. So I think a large part of the financial literacy is knowing the struggle. You know what I'm saying? When you don't know the struggle, you never struggled before and you never seen it, it's hard to try to internalize that or try to make smart decisions or try to be, I don't know how to say it, but it's hard.
We talked about it
these days.
Yeah,
and they have sort of attention spans and everything. But go ahead.
But we've talked about that too, man. And I've openly said it. I made that mistake with my oldest three. Spoiled the shit out of them. Gave them what they wanted, whatever they asked for, and a lot of us do it because we had that mentality growing up, man. Shit. Because our mama didn't get it for us. Whatever my kids ask for, I'm gonna make sure they have it. I'm gonna make sure they get it. But then not realizing that we are stunting them. We're shortchanging them. Because now when they get older, they don't want to work for shit because everything has been handed to them all their life.
Nothing but the truth. But I think the graphic is a little disingenuous when they got the boy laying in the bed. That make it. They give it a negative connotation, you know what I'm saying? Those things like that, that's kind of like what do you call it when they put a thought in your brain? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They put a thought in your brain like it's a bad thing you staying with your parents at that age. When we shift the way we thinking, maybe you do stay until 24 to get on your feet and make sure you or build onto the house. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. However,
Yeah, they put
would
it in your
make sense.
they put it in your subconscious. They put it in your subconscious that it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a bad thing to do that when it's not. And once
When it's
again,
not.
that's and once again that's just to tie it back to the culture of America. This is where people think, okay, it's not cool if you do this. You're not cool. See, everything tied to being cool, right? But when you get
Mm-hmm.
older, cool don't mean nothing. Cool only means something when you a young kid and you in your own mind, you around your friends, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? You trying to be cool for the females and all this as a boy and stuff like that, and the girls trying to be fly and all that. All that shit don't mean nothing when you become grown. The only thing that
No.
means anything is when you responsible when you get grown. That's the only thing that means. If you make responsible decisions, that's the only thing that matters. But we get sold coolness. So everybody go and do what's cool and not do what's right and what's responsible. So when you get older, then you're in this situation like, damn, I could have been doing this. So that's why a lot of the kids, they don't look at things as responsible and all this. They will look at everything as cool. But if kids get sold on being responsible and handling their business early and bringing that money into the family and all of that, that's where American culture changes. And a lot of wealth becomes to start to get built. Because everybody ain't trying to go and run out and get the newest sneaker or the latest shoes or the latest, which is all cool. But when that dominates everybody thinking, that's what you see. You see what you see out here. You know what I'm saying? Because the coolness is dominating the mentality, not like, let me handle this business. Because if everybody looking at this like, let's handle this business, then all the business is gonna get done. You know what I'm saying? But if everybody feel like, hey man, I just gotta be cool out here and fly, that's what everybody's gonna do. And that's what most of the young people are, you know what I mean? And then young people don't want to feel like they not cool. You don't want to feel like a lame because you're doing all this so-called lame shit. But not knowing that lame shit while you young is gonna free you when you hit 30, when you hit 40, 35, 40. You could be free. While everybody that
really
was
start
cool,
living.
right? And you could really start living. So, you know what I mean? That's the only thing. If we start teaching that group economics to each other and all of these things, kids staying at home and all that won't even matter, bro. Because it won't be looked at as uncool. It'll be looked like he's just building his bag up. He building that money up. He running that bag up. You know what I'm saying?
It don't look uncool to this new generation anyway, because they don't care. These motherfuckers don't care about shit. They don't want to learn nothing. They don't want to be taught shit. They want everything given to them.
With the recent study, they did a study in 2023, early 2024, and they said 45 to 48% of Americans aged 18 to 29 still live with their parents. And there are several reasons that they did down further in the article talk about, like stuff like you said, saving money, of course, college enrollment. A greater share of young adults are enrolled in college full time, living with their parents compared to those who are not enrolled. And then you also have those gender things where, like, parental co-residence is considered, okay, especially with, like, for instance, with my daughter.
That's like I just said.
My son.
The boys get past out at 18. But my goddamn daughter, they can live that motherfucker till they 45 if they want to.
Yes, sir. That's the truth. We just have to shift the way we think, man. We just got to shift the way we think. And like Noam said, we have to teach that group economics. That's it.
But also, Americans got to get that crab in the barrel mentality out of their heads, too.
And I'm glad this study wasn't black or white American. No, this was Americans all together. So, that's a kind of high number depending on how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? 45 to 48% of Americans 18 to 29 still live at home. I mean,
I don't see nothing wrong. If you're doing one of those three things, I don't see anything wrong with it.
But Noam also said, when you outline how we gonna all have a family home, because everybody got to benefit from it, right? So when you're doing stuff like that, it has to be some set rules too, because some people do just show the fuck out. You know how it is.
Yeah, and just like Noam said, if you don't want to abide by these rules or these rules ain't what you feel like you want to be in your household, then Take your ass out there and struggle and get your own shit.
But also these kids, my son did it. He felt like he was being repressed, so he want to go out and pay his own bills. And of course, hey, you welcome here anytime. But if you feel like you want to get out and blaze your own trail,
there's nothing wrong with that. But if I tell you don't have to go, and you decide that you want to go because you don't want to go back and have these rules, or you feel like you're too restricted at doing what you want to do, and you get out there on your own, you can come back to visit, but not to stay. Ain't no more. Ain't no staying. You had the opportunity. You felt like you were grown enough to get out there and do what the fuck you want to do. Then,
but you know how these kids be ready to be grown so early, be ready to just get out there. Everybody's just so ready to have independence, and it work against you sometimes. You don't know what you don't know.
You can't always come home. No, I'm just bullshit. I let them come back in. But like I say though, like with my kids, I'm not gonna let you drown, but I'm gonna watch you bob a few times. Just to show you, just to see, because if you just run to their rescue every time they get into a little trouble, they ain't gonna never learn. And every time something bad starts to happen, or they feel like it's getting a little too tough for them, the first thing they want to do is run back home to mama and daddy. But if I close that door and say that, listen, you can't run back here every time you get into a little trouble. Figure it out. Like I said, I ain't gonna let you drown, but I'm gonna watch you bob and struggle a few times, because I need to pull that other side of you out. I need to see that hustle mentality in you, that you can figure this shit out. Because if I keep rescuing you, you ain't never gonna do it on your own. But I don't know about that always coming back home shit.
Shout out Natasha Marie. Yeah, that's I tell you. I tell my kid they can come. They can come back home. But hey, you got to go by those rules now. That's gonna always be in place. So hey, we try to guide them as much as possible. But yeah, I thought that was a little interesting little study they did on Americans 18 to 29.
That's I still just think 29 is too high. Like 24, 25, that's the cutoff. Maybe
especially 20. when you think about motherfucker having kids. I mean, when you had your first kid, we ain't hey. So people having kids so early. Yeah, when you look at that, shit, by 29, motherfucker got 4-5 kids, man.
Yeah, that's shit. Or more. And then like a lot of these ones that are still home with their parents, that are between the age of 18 to 25, you got to also remember too, their parents had them at a young age.
Yeah. Yep. See, we start early down south, so you know how that go.
Man, ain't nothing to do in Mississippi but fish and fuck. That's it. Especially in Johnstown, shit.
Oh damn! Not really.
It's small, bro. You know it.
You ain't gotta say the name. But yeah, interesting study.
Yeah, that was something good to talk about. Get out there.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to everybody in the comments. Shout out to Natasha Marie. Say what, Nick?
I would say that boy better get out that bed.
Yeah, they put that thought in your head. I don't like the picture, bro. That's one thing I don't like. I don't like how they presented that the boy laying in the bed, and their mama telling him like just because you staying home don't mean you lazy.
That's that 35-year-old mama with that 17-year-old boy, and he's sitting there laying there like, man, shit, you shouldn't have had me. I ain't asked to be here. You got to take care of me.
That boy, that ain't no 17. That boy, that ain't no 17. That boy, 30.
Hey, them 17 years old, man, these motherfucking kids be looking old as hell now. Shit, that boy laying up in that mom bed like shit. I ain't even asked to be here. I should sue your ass for having me. Cause you ain't asked my permission.
That man laying in that bed looking like he got a whole 401k. Ain't no way he's 17.
Man, say that,
That boy
but no, he ain't no 17.
yeah.
Nah, he ain't got
Gil
no
said
401k,
divorce rates
bro.
are
He gonna
high.
be laying down.
Gil say divorce rates are high, school is unaffordable, and rates are unfavorable to pay back these days. As long as they're doing the right things and growing / saving, I got my baby covered while I can. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Those are facts. Those are facts.
I agree. But
Yeah,
also,
once
you
you
know,
got it fucked
we did bring up some valid points, and Noam had with the collective economics. You know what I'm saying? Because in other cultures, you know, old people don't go to nursing homes. You know, nursing homes really ain't a thing in certain cultures. You know what I'm saying? Because you at home with your
Nah.
family.
Yeah, family gonna take care of family.
And most other cultures, they don't have even cemeteries. You know, you don't get buried in the cemetery. You get buried in the backyard.
Mm.
On the plantation.
Nah, ain't no plantation in real life.
Put them
But
all
yeah.
out under that
So
tree.
So it's some old cultural things that we, you know what I'm saying, we ain't picked up on. We still figuring stuff out, you know, in America. I know we live in a time of technology and everything, but it's certain stuff we still figuring out, man. Because I see in Japan or wherever it is, they got like, you know how we have like unaffordable housing, we have no like affordable housing. They got too much. They give you free houses over there. It's like, what the fuck?
Man,
Like how we flipped upside down.
cause you know how we're too busy bailing everybody else out. We're too busy allowing motherfuckers from other countries to come over here and get stores and all this shit tax free, while we are struggling to pay back a fucking student loan that we got when we were fucking 18, 19 years old. We can't go to the bank and get a loan.
Well, there we go again. Financial literacy. Learn about finance and different strategies to grow. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays, again, you know, we're in the age of information, man. Everybody got these computers in their pocket. It ain't no excuse not to know no more. Back in the day, I could see you might not get all the information, but now it's out there. It's all out there. Google is your friend.
Man, and it's right there. They got so much information right there at their fingertips that I just don't get it, bro. I don't understand. Like at this time, man, like there no kid should have a problem with anything when it comes to finances or something, because you can just click a button on your phone and find videos about it. You don't have to wait for somebody to give you the information. You can go find it yourself. But shout out to Gil, shout out to Natasha Marie, and shout out to Dave, man. Appreciate y'all and everybody else that watching. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Choose life.
Hey.
Peace.